Hi there, welcome back. Now, if you're used to seeing my German sets ready for restoration, you're in for a surprise here, because this one definitely is far removed from my norm. This is a Murphy Corporation, Radio Corporation, U128. And this is a AC/DC set, meaning it's the famous hot chassis ones. The ones that can zap you, the ones that can really, really hurt. And condition of this one in terms of the woodwork is that it's completely rotted away with woodworm. And I really don't know what the electronic state is because I haven't opened it up yet. Now, this thing has got, there's your tuning dial on the right, the push button switches for AM. This is medium wave, and the rest is all short wave with 2 short wave bands and 5 band spread bands. Now you can see that the tuning is not working, or at least the indicator isn't, so probably a tuning dial problem in there. This is the on-off switch, and it does have a tone control if you keep turning it. On the other side is the this is a gramophone versus radio selector. So gramophone and radio. And as you can see from the outside, the woodwork is deceptively good actually, because you don't see the holes that I see when I look closer. General Electric Corporation of Portugal marketed this thing. And anyway, the back doesn't get that much better because it's in pretty bad shape. It's seen better days. Few add-ons we see there, and this is referred to as a TU128 because it doesn't have long wave. This is obviously a special export version. Antenna and ground, external speaker, and our pickup input. Now, what you see at the bottom there, those little granules, that's not sand. That's the bookworm eggs, I believe. And this thing was full of it. It actually shakes. If you shake it, you can hear it inside the panels. The only thing they don't eat is the varnish. So here's a look at that on-off switch. It's got a switch and a pot. We see that a lot of the wires been changed here. Those reds are definitely different. The blues as well. You can see the original wire down there. It's pretty rough, pretty rough. Quite a bit of rust down there. Boy, this is going to be a challenge. That's the selector switch. You can see the dial cord loose at the bottom. That wire that goes around the black and white seems to be a makeshift antenna. They've put an external antenna connector. There's the internal speaker coming to the banana jacks. That's interesting. And that's that big output tube. Lots of rust. Lots and lots of rust and dried wire. Now that tube seems to have a crack down there. Again, you can see more rust. This part here, what I've tried to do is actually try to do some cleaning to see whether I can get that rust off. And it seems to have worked. That grommet obviously is something I've put in as well, because all the grommets were completely dried out. So I think we might get it. You see all that dried wire? That scares me. That's all going to have to be replaced. That socket at the top there is for the rectifier tube. And it doesn't get any better when you start taking things out. There's our on-off switch with tone control. Pretty rusty. What you're seeing from now on is actually what I tried to save from a mess up I had with the hard drive I had the video on. So I basically lost half of the startup footage and a hell of a lot of restoration footage, which means I had to try and make do with some of the photos I'd taken to show you some of the state this was in. Obviously some of it's been explained already, but what you will see later on is the result of the restoration. I managed to start filming from the point where I'd finished the restoration of the electronics and before I'd done any testing. So This initial video actually is a little bit, it's going to be a little bit cut short because it doesn't really let me do what I want to do without the footage. You can't go back and redo stuff that you've done over. Anyway, I hope this proves informative anyway, and it gives you an idea of the condition this radio is in, and also the challenge that I'm facing, because this is not one of my norms. I hope that after this one it'll become one, because I really like this set, and I believe from everything I've read that it's pretty impressive in terms of reception, but we'll see. And what you will notice, basically, if we have a closer look at some of the photos, you'll notice that there's a hell of a lot of dried wire, and the underside, which I haven't got photos of, unfortunately, it was the footage that I'd filmed, was full of dried capacitors and a real mess of wires that needed to be replaced. Anyway, look forward to explaining to you, showing you the result in the next video, and then doing a test of reception. And see you back soon.